Hey everybody. One of my followers asked me to come on and go live because they're struggling. So here I am. Here I am, baby, to the rescue. Okay. Oh, did I turn that on? Hey everybody. I need to put y'all down, but I don't like the angle that one looks at because I feel like it makes me look fat. But oh well. Oh well. Y'all know what I look like, so it's not a big deal. So one of you guys asked me to okay. I went live over on Facebook. For those of you guys that don't follow me on Facebook, I've been going live on there a lot more often than I used to. I used to not really go live on there at all, but I recently started going live, and I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I changed it. My bad. It was me doing it. Okay, it is hot, you guys. It's 103 degrees here, so please excuse me while I go get myself a sweat rag, okay? Because it is no joke. It is really hot.
New visitor.
You're right. Okay. There we go. Ooh, mercy. Oh. Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, Billy? Well, I'm here for you, honey. I'm here for you. So, it's 103 degrees here, you guys. Oh, and it is freaking making me, I feel like I'm in a sweltering jungle. Hey, Taylor, what's up, honey? Have y'all been watching my videos? Because it feels like y'all haven't been. I just uploaded like 6 videos, okay? So, what are we going to talk about today? Are we going to gossip with the girls? No, I'm just playing. That was an old title. Whew, mercy, it's hot. How hot is it where you guys are at? Because it's hot here. That's why I ain't got no makeup on either. Hey, Effie, what's up, baby? Ugh. So the other day, I was reading to you guys out of this book by Russell Brand, and where you live at, Billy? I'm trying to get like you, my boy. Where you living at? 89? Where do y'all live at? Oh, hell no. That's not fair. Oh, it is so hot here, y'all. So hot. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to read our Courage to Change meditation. So come on in, everybody. Don't be shy. Come on in. Ready? Here we go. My program taught me the difference between walls and boundaries. Walls are solid and rigid. They keep others out, and they keep me trapped inside. Boundaries are flexible, changeable, removable. So it's up to me how open or closed I'll be at any given time. They let me decide what behavior is acceptable, not only from others, but from myself. Today I can say no with love instead of hostility, so it doesn't put an end to my relationships. I've learned about boundaries from Al-Anon's own set of boundaries, the 12 traditions. Although their purpose is to protect Al-Anon, they actually encourage the growth of the fellowship. This is true of my personal boundaries as well. As I decide what is and what isn't acceptable for me, I learn to live protected without walls. Today's reminder: do my defenses keep me safe or do they isolate me? Today I can love myself enough to look for healthier ways to protect myself, ways that don't close everyone out. Oh, thanks. So so it looks like we're going to talk about boundaries, y'all. Okay. How many of you guys have boundaries set in your life with people that you love? Anybody? Or are you learning how to set boundaries? It can be difficult, right? Especially when your friends that you used to get high with want to still come around, and you got to say, I'm sorry, I can't have you around here. I cannot have my people that I got high with. If you're still going to be using, we cannot hang out with each other, right? Right. Oof. You guys, it's so hot. It is hard. So one of the things that I've always struggled with myself is saying no. I am the biggest people pleaser that you will ever meet in your whole entire life. And I can actually remember, like, when I was younger, I tried to get sober, like, several times. And that was one of the things that I would fall back on because I couldn't say no. A girl pinned me in 13 seconds at a wrestling tournament. Is that badly embarrassing? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I've never wrestled before. What are you smoking, Billy? Hey, Jana, what's up, girl? So because I didn't know how to say no, people knew that and they would take advantage of that. You know what I mean? And so it became like a really bad problem for me. When I finally learned how to say no, it wasn't until after I had my son, you guys. Because before I had my son, it was like I was always constantly trying to like fit in and make other people happy and make other people like me. And honestly, I don't know why I struggled so much with needing validation. I mean, I guess it's just because I was really insecure, you know? And it's hard to learn. So here's the thing. When you're saying no, it's not because you don't care about that person or you don't want to be their friend, but it's because you can't do everything. Listen, one of the problems that arose because I didn't know how to say no was I would flake out on plans. Okay? So because I didn't know how to say no, I would always say yes. I would end up not going to whatever the person asked me to do, right? And then they would get upset with me. And so that caused more problems. And so when I learned how to start saying, hey, no, I don't really feel up to it, or hey, no, I can't drive you to blah, 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 you know, it helped me because I was able to actually stick to the things that I said, the commitments that I said I was going to commit to, you know, and that was the problem. I was missing my commitments because of that. I miss my innocence. I feel like if I didn't do things that I did and do now, I would be a better person. Here's the thing, Billy. We all go through experiences. We learn from our experiences. All right. And so that's what you have to do. It's not like a totally horrible thing if you learn from it. So instead of being sad or depressed about it, take it as a learning experience. Learn from what you've done. Okay. So that way it wasn't just for nothing. You know what I mean? I know that one of the things that I struggled with saying no to the most was when I was in sober living. Everybody would always ask me for a ride because I had a car. And I would always say yes. And then finally I started saying no because first of all, nobody was giving me gas money. Hey, what's up, life? Nobody was like helping me with maintenance on my vehicle. It was all on me. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I have to start saying no. I know the things that make me feel bad in life, but I don't know how to put it down. Oh, well, listen to me. That's easy, okay? It's easy. All you have to do is start, all right? You got to start somewhere. So if you're struggling with smoking, I don't know if you're smoking cigarettes or smoking marijuana, or whatever, smoking meth, but whatever you're smoking, like, pick a quit date, okay? Pick a quit date. Everything that you have in your home that's related to smoking, get rid of it, right? And on that quit date, quit. Then get into some like support groups of people that are also trying to do the same thing and quit. You know what I mean? So that way you'll have other people to talk about how you're feeling and what you're going through. And also get you some gum and some mints, because a lot of the times we smoke because of this hand to mouth. You know what I mean? Um, so you can do it. You can do it. You just got to put your mind to it. You can do it. Put your back into it. I can do it. Go and do it. Go and do it. Yeah, you can definitely do it. I have all the faith in you. Okay? I stopped smoking cigarettes like that. I had been smoking cigarettes since I was 17 years old. I smoked menthol cigarettes, Newports, Cools, Pall Mall menthols, Marlboro menthols, whatever kind of menthol cigarette I could get my hands on, right? And then I went to the doctor because I was having really bad depression and no motivation, so he put me on Wellbutrin, right? One day I was outside and my little boy picked a cigarette butt up off the ground. He was like 2 years old. He goes, "Look, Mommy, I'm smoking." And I started crying because I felt so guilty. And that was the day that I quit smoking. Oh, okay. It feels like I can relate to you guys, and it somewhat makes me feel better. Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you feel comfortable in here, hon. Well, then you could just come hang out with us. That's fine. That's just fine. Okay? I totally understand. Um, Let me tell y'all another thing. Okay, so after I stopped smoking cigarettes, and now this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I stopped smoking cigarettes and I gained weight. Okay, like I started gaining weight steadily because, when you smoke cigarettes, that kind of helps you to like not eat, right? Because you're like outside smoking a cigarette. And that's Effie. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Listen to me, honey. That's what the goal is, for you to get to a point where you don't use anymore. But as long as you're making steps in the right direction, that's all that matters. The way Dr. B taught me is he says that the goal is, okay, so what you're doing is you're having episodes of use. And the goal is to lessen those episodes of use. As time goes by, you take less and less and less, right? And so by the time you know it, you'll be not even wanting to go out and do anything like that, And I'll tell you all this much, okay? When I was young, in my like 20s, early 20s, I wasn't even thinking about stopping alcohol or drugs. Like, I had just really gotten started, right? And so y'all are young. I know y'all are. I try to, life. I really, really do. Do I ever miss the life? Ooh, that's a great question. The life, now I'm going to keep it real with you. Hell no. I don't miss the life. Now let me explain. Because when I was in active addiction, I was like living off of other people's couches. I was fucking like always broke because I didn't have any money, because I was spending it all on drugs. I was always getting called out by my bosses at work because they knew I was high and they knew I was better than that and they wanted me to get sober. I was always having some kind of altercation with my mom and dad because they were upset with me. Like the lifestyle for me, as far as that, the way I lived, sucked. But did I miss like the running and partying and letting loose and feeling good? Yeah, sure I do. I mean, there's times where, like, even now, I'm being 40 years old, I want to go out and just like let loose, you know what I mean? Just like, I don't know, get drunk one day at the house and just be drunk as a skunk, laughing and hanging out with my husband. You know what I mean? But then I think about it and I'm like, man, I can't do that today because I have my son. You know what I mean? And I don't want him to look at me and be like, why is my mom doing that? Or look at me and think, oh, that's okay to do it. My mom does it. Like, it's really important to me that my son never, ever sees me intoxicated, okay? So as long as my son is young and living with me, I'll be sober. Now, who's to say when he turns 18, 19, 20 years old, if I want to go party and go off the deep end, so be it. I'll be like 60 by then. You know what I mean? But I know what you guys mean, like the ripping and running. Like, I hung out with a lot of like dope cooks. So yeah, I kind of miss being like that right hand girl who was like, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, important, where like I was the one who was in charge of making sure that everybody at the house was acting accordingly, and that people weren't just like driving in and out and leaving in and out of the house because we had a lot of traffic there. And so I guess you could say it made me kind of feel like important or whatever, but it was like a false sense of importance because none of those people really cared about me. Those people were just out for themselves. And so was I. I was out to get high too. So now, if you had asked me that, if I was an addict who like had an unlimited amount of money and I was able to just have drugs all the time and like still have a job and have a nice car and have a nice house, then sure, I might not have missed it. But because I was not independently wealthy, and I had to put myself in a lot of compromising situations to make sure that I got my drugs, lying, cheating, stealing, doing stuff that I'm not proud of to get my next drugs, I tried my hardest to just use within my means. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, I had a really good job. And I've always worked, and so the money that I made from my job, I would always make sure that I sat out my car payment and my insurance and any bills that I had, okay? I'd set that money out and I'd give it to my dad, and my dad would pay all my bills and stuff. And any money that was left over would be my getting high money, So I really tried hard to keep my responsibilities up when I was using drugs. Luckily for me, I was able to pay my car off in 5 years pretty quickly. And the only thing that I had to pay was credit card bills. Well, because of my addiction, because of how bad I got off in my addiction, I stopped paying my credit card bills, okay? I stopped paying them, and I started to really, really struggle with that. Sorry, it's really hot, y'all. I started to struggle and not be able to pay my credit card bills. Once I stopped paying my credit card bills, and those just started building up, right? And I started falling back. Then what started to happen was these credit card companies started calling my house, calling my parents' house. And my dad would tell them, like, she doesn't live here. She's addicted to drugs, and she can't, she's not going to be able to pay it. And they would not take no for an answer. So finally, I had to file bankruptcy. I went to prison first, and they were still calling when I was in prison. And my dad was like, she's in prison. And they would not leave my dad alone. They kept calling. Well, once I got out of prison, I went home. I paroled out to sober living, and I got a job, and I started working and really saving some money. And my dad was like, listen, we need to file bankruptcy because there's no way you're going to be able to pay these credit card bills off. And so I was like, okay. And so my dad, hey, what's up, Sam, fronted me the money to file bankruptcy. And so he fronted me the money. It was like $7,000. And then I paid him back, paid him off. And so I could get out of that, Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, when I hit 40, I kind of felt like, damn, man, like I'm not a little kid anymore. You know what I mean? Because using drugs since I was younger, like 17 years old, like I've always had I've always acted a lot younger than what I am. Like anytime I ever live anywhere where there's like kids, I remember when I had my own trailer, over in Hot Springs, all the neighborhood kids that were like, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to like 16-year-old, they would always come to my house. And their parents would let them come to my house and let them stay the night. I had these two daughters. One of the girls was 15 and the other one was like 6 or 7. And their parents were on drugs anyway. But they would come over to my house and I would cook chocolate chip cookies with them. And we would have a slumber party and have movie nights. And just like a big sister, you know? Yeah. So, like, when I first got sober, before I started sharing my story with other people, I struggled because I really didn't have anything that I was passionate about. And once I started, like, getting sober and I shared my story for the first time, that really, really made me feel like, damn, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I want to share my life with people and I want to help people not feel so alone. And I want to help people feel inspired. And so that's when I started sharing my story online, and I've been doing it ever since. And like, I'm not special, okay? Like, I'm not like some super popular person who has millions and millions of followers, but I feel like I make a difference. You know what I mean? I feel like people can relate to me, and they can they like to, they hear what I'm saying and it helps them. So, I really enjoy it. Hey, Kathy, what's up, girl? How's your makeup school doing? That was one thing that I wanted to do whenever I was younger, before I got, it was after I got out of high school, but it was when I still lived in Hot Springs, and I had a bunch of friends who were in cosmetology school, and they were learning how to do hair and makeup, and I would let my friend Candy practice on me. She would do my hair all the time. Crocodile? Ugh, girl, I wouldn't do that if I were you. It'll rot your damn flesh off. That's awesome, girl. I'm so proud of you. Hey, Letty, how you doing, honey? Hmm. I would always let my best friend Candy practice her hair styling on me. And I remember one year I let her do like all these blonde streaks in it. And the plan was to do all the blonde and then dye over it with like rainbow colors, right? It didn't come out no rainbow colors. I looked crazy. Crazy. But it was okay. My esthetician friend told me it's not easy as it looks. Thanks, Tiffany. I appreciate you, girl, for joining my subscription. Thank you, girl. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. I guess I don't really tell y'all about that a lot. If you guys want to join my subscription, there's a little gold, a star right there. It's just $5.99 a month, and it's a way to support me if you want to, but you don't have to. Oh, I saw another girl, you guys. Her name's Brittany. She just got her lips done, and she got Botox in her forehead and lips and lip plumper in her lips. I always wanted to do that for the longest time. Hey, Ashley, what's up, girl? But then I figure, you know what? With my luck, it'll like dissolve really fast, and it won't last long, and I'll pay all this money to get it, and then it won't be worth it, Tiffany, thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate you. Oh, let me go ahead and tell y'all about Tiffany. So y'all know Tiffany came and shared her story the other night. She came on and shared her story on my 7-year sober birthday bash, and it's on my YouTube channel if y'all didn't get to see it. And she's going to start interviewing people over on her live streams. So if you guys aren't following her, go follow her because it's going to be good. Oh, you got your. Oh, I was about to say, I thought, are your lips done? Because you got big lips, Kathy. You really do, girl. Like, I am so jealous. Yeah, like if I got it, I would just want a little bit on my top lip. Hey Ash, what's up, girl? Your migraine medication? What's your migraine medication? What is it? Yeah, girl, your lips are so juicy. So, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love that show, first of all. But yes, it'll migrate above your lip line. And I actually saw a girl who just got hers dissolved because it had migrated up here and it looked like a mustache. You know? Yeah, I have. It's a lot of money here, y'all. It's like $1,000, so I probably wouldn't do it. That's too much money. You know what I mean? If it was a couple hundred, I would do it. But it's way too much. Suspicious of Baker's motives, the detectives went to Baker's supervisor. He said it was common knowledge Baker and Salazar hated each other. Yeah, it's so expensive. I guess because it's like a small. I don't know if it's because Arkansas is like smaller, but I went down there to ask about it, and I wanted 2 syringes, okay, and they're like $1,200. Mm. Really, John? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have seen somebody get filler, and the person who was injecting, they injected into like an artery or a vein. They hit something, and it made her lip go necrotic, start rotting off. Fiora set. Okay. Okay. The next step was clear. Based on everything we're going to I've never taken that. Is it a opiate? Let me look it up. You make self-love look easy. Put yourself on top. Excuse me. Excuse me. It was time to pull in Salazar. What surprises he had in store for them. And I'll see non-opioid sedative. Okay. Rumors of murder in a California hospital sparked a police investigation. Common side effects: drowsy, dizziness, acute confusion, excitement, symptoms of anxiety. Find out whether they were true. Yeah. Detectives decided to question Efren Salazar. Well, if you're abusing it and you know that you're abusing it, why don't you give it to your family, like your mom or dad, or somebody that you trust, and have them give it to you as prescribed, so that way you don't abuse it anymore. Because you might be abusing Fioricet, and that might be all right now, but that will lead you down a path that you don't want to go down. My least favorite drug when I was in active addiction. Acid. And you want to know why? Because my dumbass, the first time I ever did acid, and the only time I ever did acid, I had been over at my friend Nate's house, and I had been up for like 4 or 5 days on methamphetamine with no sleep. And I was like, hey man, I'm really, really tired. Do you have anything you can give me? So he gave me a Seroquel, or not a Seroquel, a Oxycontin, 40 milligram, half of an 80. And so I took that, thinking it would help. Didn't even touch it. Well, like a couple of hours later, these 2 gay guys showed up at the house, and they had some tabs of acid on sweet tarts. So I was like, what the hell? So I took 2 hits of acid. And all I know is that the next thing that happened was I was so afraid. I was thinking everybody was against me. I was thinking that Nate and Tammy were plotting on me. And then I drove then they said, let's go to Walmart. Why? I have no idea. So we drive to Walmart, and I'm getting out of the truck to go into Walmart. And the minute I step foot in that Walmart, those bright lights and everything, I freaked the fuck out. And I ran and I got back in the truck and I laid down in the back seat of the truck, right? They finally came out. What felt like 3 hours, it felt like. It was like 3 a.m., They finally came out, and I went back to the house, and I tried to lay down and try to relax, and I couldn't. And so I got in my car, and I drove off to my mom and dad's. Halfway down to my parents', there was a Valero station on the right, and I started to black out. Everything was going black. So I pulled over, and I went to the gas station and got out of my car, and I collapsed behind the cash register, telling her that I couldn't breathe and to please call 911. Well, the ambulance got there, they gave me oxygen, and then I refused to go with them. I got back in my car and drove to my mom's house. New visitor. And my mom came home and found me on the floor, like searching for stuff in her carpet. And that's when she was like, get in the car, you're going to an emergency room. And she put me in the car, took me to the ER, and they kept me there for like 6 hours, giving me fluids, gave me Valium, and trying to calm me down. Yeah. So, I was fucking scared for my life, y'all. It was a really bad trip. And the reason why it was so bad was because I had been up on meth for like days. And I hadn't slept, and I didn't know. I had no idea, because I was with other people who were on meth too, and they all tripped too, but they had fun. I didn't have fun at all. It was horrible. The legal implications of Salvador's confession soon hit Youngblood. I will never, ever, 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 ever try acid ever again. Like, people have asked me to try it, and, oh, come on, it's not a big deal. Nope, hell no. Hell to the no. Youngblood rushed from the room to find Curry waiting for him. The men needed to read Salvador's rights, but they were afraid of spooking him and losing his cooperation. Now, when I tripped on shrooms, I had the best experience. I laughed, and I was seeing like all these beautiful colors, and like whenever you would move your hand, I would see your hand with like chasers behind it, And when I was on shrooms, I went to a strip club. I fucking partied with a whole bunch of bachelors that I barely even knew. Like, I had the time of my life. Because I was at my sister's house, and her friend Jeremy brought over like a Ziploc bag full of shrooms. And so I ate like a bunch of them. And I stayed there for a little while, and then I was like, then I got a phone call, and it was this guy that I like hung out with. He was like, hey, come over. We're at Centerfolds at the strip club. And I was like, okay. I have to look, Ashley, because I get a lot of text messages. If I got it, though, I'll text you back. I'm not sure, though, honestly. Was it late at night when you texted me? Because I'm an old lady and I go to bed early. Like, I really do, you guys. The other night, I stayed up with y'all till like past midnight because it was my 7 year sober. And I thought I was going to pass out, dude. I was so tired. Hey, Tiffany, what's up, girl? I cannot believe what people are doing to you, Tiffany. Like, honestly, that's just out of control. Out of control, dude. And this is why, what is happening to Tiffany is exactly why I will not form any kind of like Zoom or anything like that groups with kids in them. If you're under the age of 18, like, you cannot come in there. Sorry, I cannot risk it, because there are so many people on this internet who will try to make up rumors and say things like, okay, girl, I'll go on there and check and text you as soon as I get off here, okay? People are accusing her of being, like, basically a pedophile, basically. And she's literally helps people that struggle with SA. She's a child abuse, child abuse survivor from sexual abuse from her stepdad. And she had him arrested, like real deal. And she has a support group for victims of SA. And she shares about her own SA and how it's affected her in her life. And she tries to help other people. And these people are taking like one of her struggles and trying to use it against her to say that she's like a predator, which is honestly disgusting. It's absolutely outlandish. It's bullshit. And Katie knows it's bullshit. That's the thing, though. She knows that's not true. She knows that's not true. But anyway, it sucks. It's just terrible. I saw the video that Trauma Mama made defending you, so I thought that was really good. But that's how trolls will do. People that are really jealous of you, they will use things that are things that I would never even think about saying about somebody. And trolls, people that are jealous of you, will use that to hurt you. So don't let it get to you. Just ignore them and rise above it. Because like I said, if you're not responding, the only person they're fighting with is themselves. And it only makes them look bad because they're the ones making video after video after video. And you're just sitting there like, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're talking about. See you later. I'm about to get off here too, you guys. But anyways, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good evening. I'm sweating because it's 103 degrees here. So I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a great night. And I'm going to text Ashley and see if I can get a hold of her. And I'll see y'all later on, okay? All right. Bye, y'all.